This is my new to me John Deere 709 shredder that I picked up. Just picked this up today and I've taken it apart a little bit. I just got it off the trailer and I'm doing some real basic things to it to make sure it's usable. And then I'm gonna hook this thing up to the tractor and test it out. Just wanted to let y'all see this and see if anybody has any experience with these 709s or any of these older John Deere shredders. Now I know they still make the 709, but this one has to be an 80s model, maybe 70s, 80s, or 90s. It's pretty old, and I just would like to know really what year it is, if I can find it, maybe a serial number, anything like that. I did take this top piece off here, and when I took it off, there was this little piece of plastic there, but you can see it got cut. And it really doesn't have much to it. It looks like it was gonna say made in the USA, maybe 540 PTO. And I couldn't find anything that looked like a serial number or anything. And I did open it up. It was pretty dry on the oil. There's just a tiny bit down there and it's mostly just sludge. So I'm gonna fill that up and see, how bad it leaks. If it leaks, it's probably got a leak underneath, because I didn't see much of a leak here, maybe. But most of it was crud that I'm trying to get off. When I hook this up to the tractor, I'm going to blow it off with the blower. It does have some pitting on the sheet metal on top, but it is very thick metal. And I don't think the pitting has done much to it. There's definitely no rust through that I've found. Mostly just these little areas where you can tell that when someone shreds with it, it collects up and then nobody cleans it off. And this one was sitting in a pasture, so it's not like this one was babied at all. The front guards are pretty much ripped off. This one doesn't have chains. It had those rubber guards. I don't even know if I'm going to run those on there. I may put some chains or, I don't know, maybe some rubber guards back on it. It does have the old square PTO shaft on it. Here, of course, as you can see, I'm moving it, and so it's free. But it's got the old square PTO shaft. So that right there just tells me that it's probably at least an 80s model, because the last 80s model shredder I bought had this square PTO shaft. The worst pitting that I've seen is up here, but that's some really, really thick metal. So I don't know, I may come back and put some kind of rust inhibitor or something like that on it. But all in all, I think it was pretty good, deal, pretty good shredder. I did pay $8.50 for this, for a 7-foot heavy duty shredder. Supposedly the 709s were pretty heavy duty for a 7-foot shredder. And like I said, when I opened this up, there was no oil in there, but if you look in there, those gears look really nice. And the U-joints on the shafts and everything look like they were greased. So I think it was semi taken care of, but it was an older gentleman that just left these things out in the pasture. Even the wheel on it still functions and everything. There is this little piece of pipe there. It's probably just the workaround to make that hole better, set the adjustments on the height. But that's it. So if you have one of these or ever ran any of these, if you could put me some details about that down in the comments, maybe how to tell what year it is or where the serial number would be, if there's a plate or if it was stamped somewhere. I can't find any information on any of that on here. But like I said, it does seem to be a pretty nice shredder. I'm hoping this is going to last me for a long time. Here is the gearbox. Looks pretty nice. The teeth on the gears look really good, top and bottom. So if it does have a leak, I'm expecting it to be a slight leak, and usually these are on the bottom where the shaft of the gear down there goes down and connects to the blades. So I'm assuming that's where it's at. But if it's just a tiny leak, I'm not really going to worry about it. But if it's significant, I'll rebuild this gearbox. Oh, and it's got this clutch here. It's actually a weird clutch. Well, I don't know about weird, but I haven't seen a clutch like that before. So I'm going to need to read up on that too. I'm assuming it's just a heavy duty slip clutch, but we'll see. Let's get this thing hooked up to the tractor. Well, it did pretty good. I mowed about 2 acres with this thing. I did fill up the gear oil in the gearbox, and I put a little bit of like adhesive caulking on there. That's all I had in the shop at the time, so I put it in there just to minimize the leakage out the top. I am going to get a new gasket for that. But I don't really see any leaking, so I'm hoping it's a very minor leak. The guy did say he hadn't even ran this thing in a couple years, so maybe it just sat there and slowly leaked out. I don't know. I did just blow it off also with the air compressor to kind of clean it out. Did not find any rust through. Sheet metal's still pretty good. Really, the worst part is right here under the PTO shaft, where that's normally where I find it, but there is some pitting quite a bit in there, but still nothing rusted through. But yeah, I need to get the gaskets and everything for this. I don't know if they're the same as they were, you know, through all the years, but if you know anything about this year model shredder or anything, you know, on how to find the serial number or how to find a way to tell how old this thing is, if you would just leave that information down in the comments, I'd appreciate that. And I'm gonna go put it up because the sun's fixing to go down. All right, that's just my John Deere 709. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.